What's going on, everybody? This is Brody from CrossbowExpert.com coming at you again with another unboxing video. Today we're looking at the Excalibur Micro Suppressor 400 Takedown. This is going to be a super exciting bow from Excalibur this year. The Micro Suppressor, the original model, is one of Excalibur's most successful models of all time. And with the new high output express limbs and those armor tips, this new limb set's gonna really impress a lot of people, and this is gonna be a very hot bow this year. So we're gonna go ahead and break the box open and get into it. So now that we got the box open, we're gonna take a look from the top down and kind of show you what's gonna be in the box as you open it up. The first thing you're gonna see is four 16.5-inch ProFlight arrows. Excalibur's having these made by Black Eagle Arrows now. 0.001 straightness, super straight, tolerant arrow. These ProFlight arrows are very good from Excalibur. They shoot excellent. So you get four of those included in the factory package. Also on top here, you're gonna have your standard 4-arrow Excalibur quiver here. This one's in matching Mossy Oak Breakup Country camouflage. Going a little further, we have foot stirrup, quiver brackets, and some assembly hardware there. And of course, we have the main stock assembly for the Suppressor 400. Looks very similar to a lot of micro bows in the past, a little bit different up here because of the takedown technology, but going to be a very lightweight, very high-powered shooting bow. Like I said earlier, we expect this to be one of Excalibur's more popular bows this year, especially with these new armor tips and high-output express limbs. It's going to be an awesome combination. And of course, now we're looking at the front end. Like I mentioned, new high-output express limbs made of 100% continuous strands of fiber throughout the entire limb, no cuts anywhere. That's how you're able to get the performance out of this such a small, compact platform. And we got a new limb tip system on here as well, these armor tips. It's coming fully suppressed here. You got your ravs, string stars here, and your air brakes on front. It's gonna be a super quiet, fast, and it's gonna be lethal. And as you can see here, you got your takedown technology as well. So there's a couple final pieces here. You got your Excalibur's owner manual, warranty registration, and a sticker. And then you have, of course, Excalibur's TACT 100 crossbow scope. Red and green illumination, 100-yard multiplex reticle. Awesome scope. You'll hear us say that on a broken record. So what I like to do first when I put these crossbows together is mount the scopes. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and ditch this cardboard box, go ahead and grab my gun vise, get everything up on here on my little table, and get it started. So now that I got the bow mounted on our gun vise here, it's ready to get a scope mounted. Open up this TACT 100 here. You're going to get the scope, of course. You're going to get TACT 100 instruction booklet. You're going to get a small Allen wrench for removing the rings, and you're going to get a TACT 100 microfiber cloth. TACT 100 microfiber cloth as well. So the scope comes in various padded protection, which is good. But like I mentioned earlier, this scope from Excalibur has red and green illumination, which means you can actually light up those reticles in there with red and green. It's got 20 to 100-yard markers inside of the scope, and it comes standard from the factory from Excalibur with these rings pre-mounted. So basically the first step is you're going to loosen the screws on the mounting rings. Place it up on your bow. I'm just eyeballing here, guessing where it needs to go on the scope based on past experience. You might have to play with that a little bit yourself to find out what's a comfortable distance. For instance, if you're a bigger guy, you might want the scope closer up to the front. If you're a little bit shorter or smaller, you might want it a little bit farther back. It's all just to make it a comfortable feel and to get your eye relief right when you shoulder the bow. I know that I like mine about 2/3 of the way up on the rail, so that's where I'm gonna start. So after you got your scope mounted, the next step is gonna be to go ahead and actually level your scope. When you shoulder your bow, you want your horizontal scope line to not be at an angle. You want it to be perfectly horizontal when you shoulder your bow. And this handy dandy gun vise here helps me to cheat a little bit. I can get a kind of a good idea of how much I need to turn my scope. And it's pretty close straight from the factory, but it does need a little adjustment. So what I'm gonna do is take my supply to Allen key from Excalibur here, loosen up these Allen bolts on the scope rings, and I'm gonna rotate my scope just a little bit. but I think that'll get us pretty close to perfectly level. Go ahead and retighten down those Allen bolts. And I'm going to shoulder the bow once here just to see how it looks. Yeah, that looks pretty good to me. So now that we got our scope mounted and leveled, we're going to go ahead and put this part aside, get my gun vise off the bench here, and I'm going to do some assembly with that included hardware packet on the limb set itself. We're going to put the foot stirrup on and then do some mounting of the quiver bracket, etc. And after that, you're pretty much done. There's really not a whole lot else to do on these bows. They come pretty much assembled with that takedown technology. So I'm going to go ahead and get her started. All right, opening up my hardware packet here, I have big foot stirrup from Excalibur that's going to be used with the quick lock technology. I have the quiver bracket extension arm. I have the quiver bracket itself. I have a set of X-Shocks with an alcohol pad. I have a Picatinny mount that's actually for the new quiver design this year from Excalibur. I have a couple Allens, some nuts, some bolts, and of course 4 100 grain field tips. So the first step in this whole equation is going to be to open up your hardware. And you're going to find these 2 larger, longer Allen nuts. And what these are going to do are go through your foot stirrup and actually attach straight to your riser. And that's what's going to operate that quick lock technology here. So I'll go ahead and turn it this way and see it's really nothing difficult. I'm just inserting the 2 screws, lining up the holes with the foot stirrup and the quick lock lever there and tightening them down. And Excalibur does include all the Allen wrenches necessary for this. Some people really like to use their own set of Allen wrenches. I know that when I'm putting these back together in our shop, I definitely have a set of Allen wrenches I prefer to a normal one, but there's absolutely nothing wrong with these. They'll work just fine. So go ahead and tighten these down here as good as I can get them. And there you go. And that's how you operate your quick lock technology. Pull down on this blue lever, push the foot stirrup this way. Then you would slide your limb set onto your riser, and all you have to do to lock it into place is push your foot stirrup forward and you're locked. Just an awesome piece of technology from Excalibur. So the next thing you're going to want to assemble is actually your quiver bracket extension arm and the quiver bracket itself. Now this is completely ambidextrous. You can put it on either side of the bow. I myself am right-handed, so I'm going to mount the quiver off of the right-hand side of the bow. First thing I'm going to do is take my bracket, and just for visual sake, for the purpose of this video, I'm going to go ahead and show you here. This is how the quiver slides into the bracket. And you're going to want the open end of the bracket facing forward towards the front of the bow here. So that's how I'm going to go ahead and line it up. I know that I want my quiver bracket extension arm coming off the right side of my bow, and I want the bracket facing forward. So once you have that figured out, go ahead and grab the 2 supplied screws, thread them through there, line up the holes. It's going to take a little play to get everything to line up. And go ahead and tighten those nuts down. And there you go, you got your quiver bracket mounted to your extension arm. So the next step now is going to be to grab this small black Picatinny rail looking thing, and you're going to actually mount it straight onto the riser here. There's 2 pre-drilled holes on either the left or the right. Like I said, I'm right-handed, so I want mine on the right-hand side of the bow. Just go ahead and line up that pre-drilled hole and tighten this down. There you go, quiver bracket and quiver is mounted. That's a new quiver style this year from Excalibur. A little bit different system, but it's actually pretty good. It works out good. And just like that, you can see you got everything mounted and put together there. So at this point, your bow is pretty much already assembled. We can go ahead and put it together here with this quick lock technology. I have the stock in this hand. I'm gonna go ahead and rest it on the table. Like I said earlier, push the blue lever down, pull the foot stirrup back, go ahead and slide it on, just like so. And then go ahead, lock that foot stirrup, and you're ready to go. Now what I'm going to do for the sake of this video is go ahead and mount the Charger EXT bracket. So I'm going to go ahead and break this one open here. Like I said earlier, everything is pre-included. You're just going to need to take 2 Allens, unscrew the 2 screws from the mounting bracket, place the small piece of metal with the R and the up arrow on the right side. There's 2 small cutout holes in the back of this stock. Go ahead and thread that bolt through. Grab your left side, put it on, and then tighten down the bolt. I like to get one started just so that it kind of holds itself there, as you can see, and then I can grab the second bolt, put it on my Allen, line up the mounting holes, and there you go. Your Excalibur Micro Suppressor 400 takedown is all assembled. I'm going to go ahead and mount the Charger EXT crank. Super simple, you just slide it right on. It clicks into place. To take it off, all you're going to do is pull this blue knob out, and slide it up, and there you go. You can put your crank in your pack, in your crossbow case, whatever you're doing to carry your bow out to the field. Like I said earlier, I really like this. Once you get your bow cocked, it's light, it's nimble, and this is going to be a devastating bow from Excalibur this year, the Suppressor 400 takedown from Excalibur. As always, you can find all of our crossbow packages, including this Suppressor 400 takedown, at crossbowexpert.com. Be sure to like us on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to us on YouTube. And don't forget to hit that little bell so that you get notified whenever we post a new crossbow video. Thanks again, everyone, and straight shooting.